It's late evening, the rain is falling hard, and the city is alive with rushing people, everyone hurrying somewhere warm, somewhere safe. But on a cold bench at a bus stop, sits a young woman who has nowhere to go. She's shivering, soaked to the bone, with nothing but an old backpack and broken dreams. Most people don't notice her. A few glance her way, but quickly look down, pretending she doesn't exist. But then, a little girl stops. A child, no older than 6. She looks at the young woman and says words that silence the storm in her heart. "You need a home, and I need a mommy." And in that moment, everything changes. Her name was Emily Carter, and just 2 years earlier, she had been a different person. Back then, she was an art student. Her tiny apartment was filled with half-finished canvases, paint-stained clothes, and notebooks filled with dreams. She wanted to paint the world, to teach children art, to travel. But life doesn't always honor dreams. First came the car accident, her mother, gone in an instant. Her father, broken by grief, fell into drinking and soon disappeared from her life completely. Emily was left alone. She tried to keep studying, but grief weighed on her. Bills piled up. She worked long shifts at diners and shops, but it wasn't enough. Eventually, she lost her apartment. And then, she lost hope. Now, at 23, Emily drifted from shelter to shelter, bus stop to bus stop, carrying only what she could in a worn-out backpack. That night, she sat on the bus bench, staring at the wet ground, wondering if anyone would even notice if she vanished. "Hi." Emily looked up. Before her stood a little girl in a bright yellow raincoat. Drops of rain clung to her curls, and she clutched a stuffed bunny to her chest. Her eyes, big, innocent, and curious, met Emily's with a warmth Emily hadn't felt in years. Emily forced a smile. "Hello." The girl tilted her head. "Why are you sitting out here in the rain? Don't you have a home?" Emily's throat tightened. She wanted to lie, to protect the child from the truth. But the words slipped out anyway. "No, sweetheart. Not right now." The little girl frowned. She hugged her bunny tighter, thought for a moment, and then said something that broke Emily's fragile heart. "Well, you need a home. And I need a mommy." Emily froze. Tears welled in her eyes before she could stop them. The girl smiled as if she had solved a puzzle. "See? You can come live with me. Then you won't be lonely. And I won't be lonely either." Before Emily could respond, a voice called sharply, "Lily." The girl turned. A tall man in his mid-30s hurried over, an umbrella in one hand. His eyes, tired but protective, narrowed at the sight of his daughter talking to a stranger. "Lily, I told you not to wander off." He scooped her up, but Lily pointed at Emily. "Daddy. She doesn't have a home. And I don't have a mommy. Can't she be my mommy?" The man, Daniel Hayes, stiffened. He looked at Emily properly for the first time. Her clothes were damp, her hands trembling, her eyes red from exhaustion. She wasn't dangerous. She was lost. "I'm sorry," Daniel said, shifting uncomfortably. "My daughter, well, she has a big heart. She lost her mom 2 years ago. Since then, she's been wishing." His voice trailed off. Emily nodded silently, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. But Lily wasn't finished. She reached a small hand toward Emily. "Please, Daddy." She looks sad. "She needs us." Emily turned her face away, ashamed of her tears. But Daniel didn't pull his daughter back. Something in Emily's eyes stopped him. Against his cautious instincts, Daniel made a choice that night. "Come on," he said gently. "There's a diner down the street. Join us for dinner. At least get something warm to eat." Emily shook her head. I couldn't." But Lily beamed, tugging her father's sleeve. "Please, Daddy. She's coming with us." And so, Emily found herself in a small booth at a cozy diner, the smell of fried food and coffee surrounding her. She hadn't eaten properly in days. She tried to order just a cup of tea, but Daniel insisted. "It's fine. Order what you want." Lily chattered the whole time, telling Emily about school, about her bunny, about how she wanted to learn to draw. Emily listened, smiling faintly. For the first time in months, she felt human. When she finally picked up her fork, the warmth of the food brought tears to her eyes. Daniel noticed. He didn't say anything, but inside, something shifted. As they left the diner, rain still falling softly, Daniel hesitated. "Look. I know this is unusual, but we have a spare room. It's not much. But if you need a place to sleep, just for a night, you're welcome." Emily froze. The words were too much. Too kind. I don't want to be a burden." But Lily tugged Emily's hand. "Please? I already told you, you're my mommy now." Emily's chest ached. And finally, she whispered, "Okay." What began as one night turned into a week, then two. Emily stayed. She cleaned, cooked, helped with Lily's homework. She was careful, always aware this was temporary, but little by little, she began to feel something she thought she'd lost forever, belonging. Still, doubts haunted her. At night, she lay awake in the spare room, staring at the ceiling. What if they ask me to leave? What if I mess this up? What if I'm not enough? But every morning, Lily greeted her with a hug. Every evening, Daniel thanked her for helping. Slowly, Emily's walls began to crumble. One rainy afternoon, Emily sat painting in the kitchen. Lily climbed onto the chair beside her, eyes wide. "Can you teach me?" she asked. Emily smiled. "Of course." Together, they painted. Messy strokes, bright colors, laughter filling the room. Lily held up her paper proudly. "Look, Mommy." Emily froze, brush midair. "What did you say?" Lily tilted her head innocently. "Mommy. That's what you are now. Right?" Emily's eyes blurred with tears. She pulled Lily close. "If that's what you want, then yes." Daniel, however, wrestled with his own doubts. Friends warned him. "You don't know her. She's homeless, Daniel. She could take advantage of you." But when he saw Emily with Lily, patient, loving, gentle, he knew those warnings were wrong. She wasn't using them. She was healing them. And maybe, just maybe, they were healing her too. One winter night, disaster struck. Lily spiked a dangerous fever. Her small body trembled, her skin burning hot. Daniel panicked, fumbling with the phone, his hands shaking. But Emily stayed calm. She held Lily, whispering soothing words, cooling her forehead with damp cloths until Daniel drove them to the hospital. For hours, they waited, fear gnawing at them. Finally, the doctor emerged with a smile. "She's going to be fine." Relief flooded Daniel's face. He turned to Emily, voice breaking. I don't know what I would have done without you. Emily shook her head. She saved me first, Daniel. That little girl saved me the night she spoke to me. Their eyes met, and for the first time, Daniel saw her not as a stranger, but as family. Months passed. Emily never left. She officially became part of their lives, mother to Lily, partner to Daniel, and finally, a woman with a home. One spring afternoon, the three of them walked through the park, laughter in the air. Lily skipped ahead, holding both their hands. She looked up at Emily and said, See? I told you. You needed a home. I needed a mommy. Now we're a family. Emily's eyes filled with tears. She leaned down, kissed Lily's forehead, and whispered, Yes, sweetheart. You were right. So what do we take from Emily's story? That sometimes, salvation doesn't come from where we expect. Sometimes it comes from a child's innocent heart. That even when life breaks us, there can be second chances. Emily thought she had nothing left. But one sentence, spoken by a little girl at a rainy bus stop, gave her everything. You need a home, and I need a mommy. Those words didn't just give her a roof over her head. They gave her a family, a purpose, and a love she thought she would never feel again.